pod bay doors.
Greetings and welcome to another exciting episode of the Cinematic Traveler. I am your intrepid movie exploring host Chris, and on this special episode I am going to be bringing you my review for a film recommended by last month's movie quote contest winner. They have picked one of my favorite horror movies, believe it or not, and that is Final Destination from the year 2000. I will not believe it is from the year 2000, and it is directed by James Wong. And if you are watching this, you see I have the mood lighting on. It's a scary movie. I thought I would go with a little bit of a red light on this one. Let's see how that works. Hey, don't blame me. Amazon lets me buy this crap. At any rate, I am super excited to be talking about this movie. As I mentioned, it is one of my favorite horror movies, so I can't wait to dive in. Now, before I do have to ask a favor of you. Whatever you are listening or watching this show on, somewhere on that screen on your device, there is a follow or a subscribe button. If you could please just tap that button and follow the show. Not only will it help me and the show, it helps you. You won't miss any of my future episodes, and you'll get to go back and listen to all of my amazing previous reviews, hear my sexy voice. And on a few of them, you'll actually get to see my sexy face. As I mentioned, I'm going to keep saying that until somebody agrees with me. Also, if you could share the show with your friends, family, loved ones, the Grim Reaper, I don't care. As long as I get someone to listen to the show or watch the show, I would greatly appreciate it. Share it on your social media. You can find me on social media. I'm on Instagram at Cinematic Traveler Pod. I do have an email address, thecinimatictravelerpod@gmail.com. I am on the other ones, X and Blue Sky and all that crap, but I mostly stay on Instagram, so that's the best way to get in touch with me and follow the show. There, I got through all of that YouTuber, podcaster, mumbo jumbo, quick, fast, and in a hurry, so we can dive into this episode. I hope you are doing well out there, my beloved listener. You should be getting this at the end of the week, so we are rushing headlong into the weekend. I hope you have amazing plans to spend time with all of your loved ones. And again, share the show with them. It's Easter. It's the time for giving, I think. I don't know. Anyway, I am so excited to be talking about this movie. Again, it comes from last month's contest winner, ZW. And she has recommended, and this is no influence by me whatsoever. Again, one of my favorite horror movies. I was going to say in recent memory until I saw it came out in 2000. I was like, oh my God, I really am getting old. But that is Final Destination. Now, before we get into the review, I do have to over-explain a couple of things. I am going to be giving you... Well, I normally give you a spoiler-free review, but since this movie is 25 years old, I'm probably going to get into spoilers. I will give you a spoiler-free plot synopsis. Now, in that plot synopsis, I have hidden one movie quote. If you can identify that movie quote and get in touch with me through the various means I have given you at the beginning of the show, I'll give you a point. And at the end of the month, I add up all the points, and whoever wins gets to pick a movie for me to review next month. How exciting! How exciting is that? Audience participation. It's a wonderful, wonderful thing. And it lets me know you're out there as I sit behind my fort of blankets with my little red light on. I know it seems a little uncool, but isn't that the best time of the week to be uncool with Chris? Okay, I know, I hear you. Let's get on with it already, and I agree. Let's talk about Final Destination.
Yeah, it's going to be fun on the bun.
And once again, this did come out in the year 2000, and it was directed by James Wong, who has done a few movies. He actually did the third movie in this series. He also did a movie, I don't know if y'all remember this one, entitled One, starring Jet Li. That's a pretty good movie. I talk about multiverses and all that before that became all the rage in superhero movies. But yeah, that's a good one. If you haven't seen that, check it out. It's with Jet Li, The One. He also worked on The X-Files back in the day, and that's kind of where this movie came from. He proposed it as an episode of The X-Files, but then decided to make it a feature-length film, and I am grateful that he... So we open the movie meeting Alex, played by Devon Sawa, heading to the airport to join his senior class for their big trip to Paris. As the plane takes off, it is suddenly engulfed in flames and explodes, killing everyone on board. But wait. This is all a vision that Alex has while waiting for the plane to leave. He naturally begins to panic and is thrown off the plane with his best friend, a few fellow classmates, and one of their teachers. Now, as everyone is yelling at Alex for costing them time in Paris, croissant, the plane does explode and it does kill everybody on board. The survivors are left to deal with the emotional aftermath of the crash, but they are about to learn you might be a king or a little street sweeper, but sooner or later, you dance with the Reaper. Hint, hint. That's a good one. That's a good one. It seems death did not mean for them to live, and has now altered its plan to bring them into the afterlife. Instead of offing them all at the same time, no, death begins to pick off the survivors one by one in more and more elaborate ways. After a chance encounter with the local funeral director, Mr. Bloodworth, played by the late, great Tony Todd, Alex begins to unravel Death's plan, and it's up to him to convince his companions to believe his outlandish ideas before it's too late. Will Alex outwit Death and save his friends, or will the supernatural anesthetist, if he wants you to snuff it, all he has to do is puff it? He's such a fine dancer. You might get a bonus point for that one. What was I saying? Okay, will the supernatural anesthetist complete its diabolical plan that it's set in motion on that ill-fated plane trip? Now, normally I wouldn't answer those questions to spoil the movie, but if you have made it this far, I am probably going to get into spoilers in my main review. So if you haven't, go watch the film and come back and finish this episode, or venture on at your own risk. Now that looked really good because of the red light. So if this is a podcast, you're not getting any of that. All right, now let's go ahead and talk about the positives of Final Destination.
Sounds pleasant.
And as I have mentioned earlier, I do love this movie, so this is going to be very difficult for me not to fanboy out on this movie, but I really do love this flick. I'm going to start with the cast. I think they have assembled a really good crew here. You've got Devon Sawa as Alex, our main lead, our hero of the story, who has the visions and is trying to figure out Death's plan. I think he is very convincing in that role. He is burdened by the death of these friends on this airplane, and then the death of the survivors one by one. Plus, he has the FBI coming after him because they think he's behind everything. So you could say he's got a lot on his shoulders. I think Devon does an excellent job here of making you root for him. You buy into all of his figuring shit out. Plus, you feel for the guy. I mean, his best friend dies in a horrible way. He starts to develop a crush with Clear, played by Ali Larder, one of the other survivors who believes Alex. So they form a little bond there, and they have a nice little relationship blooming as they try to outwit death and survive all of this game. But yeah, they have a great chemistry with each other. And again, they pull you into the story. It's believable. You don't get, well, as believable as this movie can be, but you believe their reaction to things. How about that? There's some excellent moments. I especially like when Alex decides to hide out in the cabin by the lake there, and he's like putting duct tape around the corners of tables and putting cork on nails and stuff. He's trying to death proof the house, basically. Yeah, that was a pretty good moment. But yeah, you really believe they're on this journey together. You also have the rest of the supporting cast. You have a young, oh my god, they're also young, young Kerr Smith as Carter. He's sort of, I guess he's kind of a bully. Maybe he's just this rebel, tough kid in the school that survives, and it's the beginning. They're kind of at each other's throats, and he's picking on one of the other characters and stuff, and he's not buying into any of Alex's bullshit about Death's plan and all that stuff. He's like, I'm in control of my life. But slowly he starts to come, especially all the stuff that is happening, he comes around, and they actually form a friendship in this movie. But yeah, it's nice to have sort of the antagonist in the group outside of Death that is killing everybody. It just adds a little conflict, makes it, again, a little more believable, because you have people reacting in a way that you would think a reasonable, rational human being would act. And then you have Alex, who sees the bigger picture, and they're kind of clashing and butting heads. And you have Carter's girlfriend, Terry, played by Amanda Detmer, is a little bit caught in between the two sides, the two factions, and she meets her demise in a very sudden moment, a very great jump scare. You also have John William Scott as Billy. I think this is pre Stifler days, maybe right before it. He's like I said, they're young kids in this movie, but he is the one that Carter bullies at the beginning of the movie. And he also gets off the airplane, even though he doesn't want to. He's like, I wasn't even in the fight, but yeah, he adds a little bit of the comic relief to it because he's just kind of this dumb, goofy guy who doesn't believe it until it's really too late. But yeah, he has some great moments. I like when he ask Alex after everything. He's like, Alex, when am I going to die? Can you see when I'm going to die? And Alex is like, no. And then he kind of steps out of frame and he comes back and goes, oh, if I ask this girl out, is she going to say yes? Because he thinks Alex is psychic because he's such a moron. But yeah, he adds some nice comic relief to the movie. And you have their teacher, Miss Luton, played by Kristen Cloak. I think that's how you say her name. I remember her from, do you remember that show? Was it Space Above and Beyond? God, I swear she was on that show. I haven't looked it up on IMDb. I should, but pretty sure she was on that show. But she's she's a teacher I would have liked to have in high school. She's like a cool teacher. But at any rate, she doesn't have a whole lot to do except die horribly. Oh, bless her heart. They kill her a lot in this movie. But you know, your main cast is great, that little group, because I think they have a nice mixture of likable hero characters and sort of asshole characters and then comic relief. So you have people to root for, root against, and then, you know, like I said, you have people come in to give you a few laughs. So I think it's the right balance for this type of movie with these different characters. So you care when they die. I think that's really one of the better aspects of this movie, is that you actually care about these people. So when bad things happen, you are on the edge of your seat hoping they'll get out of it, even though you know in death there are no accidents, no coincidences or mishaps, and no escapes. You don't get any credit for that. Especially since I can't do the voice. And yes, I've mentioned him in the synopsis because I had to. We lost him recently, but the late, great Tony Todd in that deep, deep voice. Yes, Candyman himself. He has a brief but memorable exchange with Alex and Clear, or Claire. Is it Clear or Claire? I can't remember. At any rate, they have an exchange, and he's so awesome. I mean, he's just so awesome in this movie. He's in it for like 3 minutes, and all I can remember is him just with that deep voice and the lines he's given, the way he delivers it. It's just creepy as hell, and he's just loving it. So yeah, God bless you, Tony Todd. I miss you. I wish you were still here making these horror movies. Yeah, and I think the last two cast members I will mention: Daniel Roebuck as Agent Ween and Roger Gwenvere Smith. I don't know if that's how you say that. I added a little flair to that, but he's Agent Shrek, ironically enough. But they play the FBI agents, and again, they're doing their job, but they have some comedic moments as well. There's that point where Agent Shrek is like, "That kid creeps me out," and then the other agent looks at him and goes, "You know what? Sometimes you creep me out." So they have a few good exchanges that add a little life. They feel like real characters in the movie, real people. So, and that again helps make the film more enjoyable. I think the cast, from top to bottom, everybody that has their part in the movie does it well, especially for this movie. I'm not expecting, some kind of Academy Award performances here, but they fill the role they need to and make you, again, believe in these characters and really feel for them when they're going through this horrible situation. The next positive in the movie is naturally the direction by James Wong. As I mentioned, he did come back and do the third one, which I don't know. Should I tell everybody? I love all of these. Well, I will say the fourth one I haven't watched as much. It's not as good as the rest of them, but I think the first three are great. And I think the fifth one, if you haven't seen any of these movies, it's good. And then when it hits the end and it kind of ties things together, then it's like, oh my God, that's brilliant. But at any rate, he directed this one and a third one. I think he does a good job with this movie, with the camera work, how he sets up all of the kills and kind of leads you in different directions where you think, okay, it's going to be this, and no, it's no way it's going to be that. I like when I think it's Todd, Alex's best friend, he's the first one that buys it. But the whole scene, like you see the water leaking and it's rolling across the floor, and then he grabs the razor and he's shaving. You're like, oh God, that's it. He's gonna cut it out. Oh, that's not it. He takes the scissors and puts them in the nose, the trim nose hair. Like, oh my God, that's gonna be horrible. That's not it. So yeah, I like the way it fakes out on some of the kills. Some of the kills are more elaborate than the other ones. I think it's a good mixture too. I think you get the ones that are sudden, like with Terry, the girlfriend, in the bus. Oh, that bus. It's so quick and sudden that it's shocking. Same thing with Billy when he gets decapitated. Yeah, again, it's sudden. It's real shocking. So you have that sort of mixture of the, oh my God, it's drawn out, especially, like I said, with Todd and then the teacher, Miss Luton. Oh my God, that scene seems to go on forever. Ah, poor Miss Luton. I don't know what you did, but they really, really killed the hell out of you. You get, what, glass in the neck, you get stabbed, you get your house blown up. It is so over the top and it's glorious. But yeah, I love the way they're all set up and the way the camera moves, and you get that sort of breeze that blows into the room to let you know that death is around. I did read a little bit. I don't want to go into like retrospective of this movie, but I did read a few background things on the movie. One of them was they were going to have death sort of be more of an entity in the film. You get a little bit of it early on with Todd's death, where you see just shadows. I think you see a little bit of that with Miss Luton as well, but they decided to scale that back and keep it a little more ambiguous, which makes the movie more fun, a little more scary, because you're sort of a step ahead of the characters. Because when you do see that breeze blow in and doors start to move, you're like, oh shit, something bad's gonna happen. Get out of there quick. So yeah, I think all of that looks great. The camera work, the pacing. This thing is like an hour and a half long. You basically start off, pun intended, with the bang, because it's not long before you get the crash, and then you're off and running, because then Todd dies and then Alex is trying to figure things out, and next thing you know, they're at the end of the movie. So again, I think it flows perfectly. It's an interesting, and that's my next positive concept, which is what I really dig about this movie. It's different. It's a different type of horror movie. It's not a slasher. It's not some kind of serial killer. There's really not a killer for them to go stop. It's death, and they just have to use their brain to outwit this thing and outsmart it and figure out what the next play is on its chessboard. You kind of got that game going where, okay, if I move here and death goes there, which way do I move next? So I really did enjoy the concept of this movie, especially when it came out. It was just, as I said, it was different. I've liked each one ever since. Again, I will say the fourth one, I remember the car race and the car wreck, but I don't know. After the third one was so good that I think I've just kind of lost interest with the fourth one. But I know they are. I don't think they're rebooting. You can't really reboot this franchise, I guess. You just have a new version of the story. But they're doing another one this year, which I can't wait to see. I've seen the one trailer and I'm not looking at anything else because I want to be surprised when I go see it. Because, like I said, I enjoy the hell out of these movies. They're all on HBO Max or whatever right now. And after watching the first one, I'll probably watch the rest of them. The second one will make you not want to drive behind any log trucks when you're out on the interstate. The third one will make you choose what weightlifting equipment you want to use in the gym. But yeah, I love these movies, and I just, like I said, I enjoy the premise because it's just trying to stay ahead of death, and that's just something different. You know what I mean? Now moving into the negative for Final Destination.
Uh-oh, I don't like the sound of that.
And this was very hard for me to do, as I mentioned. In case you haven't heard me say it 1,000 times, I love this movie, so it was a bit tough. I will say, yes, you do have to buy into the premise and the silliness of it. There are a lot of these deaths that are like, okay, that wouldn't work. You could get out of that pretty quickly. So you got to kind of buy into what's going on in the movie, which I do. It's fun, and they're trying to let you know it's fun as you're going along in the movie, and you're trying to solve the mystery with everybody else. But if you can't buy into that, then you're probably not going to enjoy this movie. I'm trying to think of what any real negatives of this movie are. At the moment with Tony Todd, as much as I love it, it always seemed weird because Alex and Clear, they show up and it's Todd's body. His best friend's laying there, and Mr. Bloodworth is putting in the embalming fluid, I guess. And it's pretty nasty, gross seeing it. They're just having this normal conversation. I'm like, man, it's your best friend who just died. You'd think you would have some struggles talking in that room right at that moment. I couldn't do it, but I understand they were just trying to get a little exposition in there. But yeah, that one always seems a bit weird to me. Some of the FBI plot, I liked it all the way until the end when they just sort of drop it after everything is resolved. You never get anything clear about why they, stopped looking at Alex. Did everything stop after that? It kind of gives you the happy ending almost until it doesn't at the very, very end, but it kind of wraps up real quick at the end. So I wish they'd maybe giving us a little bit more of that. I mean, again, that's not nitpick more than anything. Honestly, I don't know what else to do for a negative. I have a question, ladies. If a guy grabs a downed power cable and basically dies to save your life and then comes back to life, you are obligated to go out on at least one date with him, right? I'm asking for a friend. That might be my new strategy in my dating life. Look out, there's a power cable. Let me grab it. Okay, now we're going to go to dinner, right? Right. Let me know if that'll work. Is that a good idea or not? So, I'm going to give you a gore score on this film because it is a horror movie. This is the only thing I give a number rating to. 1 is maybe a little or no gore, and a 5 is like Terrifier 3 type of gory movie. This one I'll go with about a 2. You got a decapitation in it, so that has to bump up the number a little bit. And then there's some blood and some stabbing and stuff like that. So if you're not big into gore, this isn't over the top gore, but just be warned, there are some violent, bloody scenes in this film. But for my final review for Final Destination, I mean, come on. If you could tell by now, go watch this movie. If you haven't watched it in a while, go watch it again. Go watch them all again. Enjoy them. Enjoy the schlock that they are. It's wonderful. It's the right kind of schlock. They know exactly what they're doing in these movies, especially the first one. I love the setup. The characters are great. All the deaths are a lot of fun. If you haven't seen the movie and you have made it this far into the review, I don't know why you didn't stop and go watch it, but go watch it. It's a lot of fun. It's a different type of horror movie. And I think that's what really makes it stand out for me again, it's just something outside of the box to make you go, oh, all right, we don't have a slasher and we don't have Hannibal Lecter or anything like that. So yeah, this is a lot of fun. I enjoyed watching it again. Thank you, ZW, for recommending it. It's hard to review these types of movies because I do love them so much, so I can't really find a lot of negative or be super critical about this movie. Yeah, I love Final Destination. I can't wait for the new one to come out. So yeah, anyway, that wraps it up. Go watch Final Destination and enjoy the mayhem and Tony Todd. God bless him. God, he left us too soon. So that wraps up our special movie quote contest winner review, whatever we want. I need a better title for it. And if you're still with me, then I must have done something right. And if I did, again, please follow the show, subscribe, leave me a rating, tell your friends, family, tell everybody, share it on social media, find me on social media. How much more can I beg? How much more can I beg? Let's see, for my next episode this weekend, I will be reviewing Sinners just in time. Speaking of Easter, we have a movie entitled Sinners coming out. That looks pretty good with Michael B. Jordan, sort of a horror movie, I guess. Well, it looks like a horror movie, but yeah, it looks like it's going to be a fun time, and I can't wait to see them bring that to you. That'll probably be Sunday or Monday morning, so you definitely want to be looking out for that. Before I go, I want to thank you for taking the time out of your day to listen and watch my show. I greatly appreciate you as an audience member. I tell everyone I know I've got the smartest and sexiest audience in all of the YouTuber podcaster universe, and you never fail to live up to those high standards. Now, as you are traveling around on this blue and green ball, bouncing through the cosmos, trying to stay one step ahead of that wily Grim Reaper, I need you to do one thing for me. Go out there and do that voodoo that you do so well.
All right, show's over. I'm tired.